So hello to all my cherry bombs. This video is going to be the story time of surviving the promo team that I worked for in Dallas. And I know that originally I said that it was going to be a long time before I told that story, but honestly, the more I thought about it, I was just like, wait for what? So before we get into this story, if you haven't seen my last video about living in Dallas and what it was like, you need to go back to that video. Start at, I think it's like 19 minutes and 27 seconds. You need to go back to that video, and I'll have it somewhere in here as well. Watch that first. Watch the whole portion of that video that's about the nightlife and doing bottle service, and then come back to this video so you will not be lost, because the things I said in that video I'm going to try not to do a whole bunch of repeating. So go watch that first so you're not lost about this story, okay? So before we get into this story time, give this video a thumbs up so that more people can find my content. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Turn on your post notifications because I'm very sporadic with how I post, and if you don't have them on, you will miss me. If you've been here for a minute, then you already know. And all my social medias will be linked down below. I'm super active on IG. I'm very active on TikTok. So yes, if you're trying to keep up with me outside of here, that's where you can find me. So I'm gonna break this story up into like 3 parts. It won't be 3 different videos, but it will be 3 parts so y'all can keep up and not be wondering like, why is she spending so much time on this part versus that part, whatever. It's gonna be like 3 or 4 different parts in the same video. And I'm gonna call part 1 Capper. So boom. Okay, so like I was saying in the previous video, Dallas is run by promo teams for the nightlife. So a lot of places, like, you won't work for the actual venue itself. You'll work for a promo team, and y'all will work for multiple venues around, not even around the city, because it'll really just be around downtown Dallas for the most part, which puts you at a disadvantage because who do you go to when there's no HR? They have free reign, and the promo teams are run by men, and men are creepy, and we all know this. Like, most men, if given the opportunity and put in positions of power, they be utilizing it in the worst ways, okay? So starting off, the 2 that were like in charge of the promo team, I'm gonna call the main one Gemini, and then I'm gonna call the one that's like the Robin to the Batman, but like second in charge. I'm gonna call him Capper, because he was always, literally always capping about something that he was gonna make happen or do for somebody. And I already knew that it was cap, because like I told you guys in the previous video, I just really know how to keep that kind of stuff. So it never went above my head that it was not gonna happen, you know? From day one, I was just like, literally like eternally rolling my eyes to the back of my brain cells. I really used to just be letting him talk, and honestly it was so easy to just let him talk, because he would call you and the whole entire time on the phone it would just be him talking. He would not let you get a single word in. It would just be him talking. He could have a whole conversation talking to himself, holding the conversation by himself. It was insane. Like, I would mute the phone and I'd be huffing and puffing and talking ish and rolling my eyes the whole entire time. Honestly, the whole duration of him talking would really consist of him venting, I guess, about his relationship, and then also begging. And mostly it would be him begging. So starting off working for this promo team was so wild to me, is that I have been doing nightlife, y'all. Like I said in the last video, I've been doing nightlife since 2015-ish. So it's been a long time of me doing nightlife on and off since college. And I'll say honestly, out of everywhere that I've worked, I was never made to feel uncomfortable. Like, you know how you work for somebody? Like, I've been hit on at every single job I've ever had for the most part. I've never had a job where I just had peace and there wasn't somebody hitting on me. And even though, like, in nightlife, it's still workplace harassment, don't get me wrong. But most of the time in nightlife, it wasn't super pushy. It was just more so like they would make their jokes and kind of like make it known, if you ever gave me the chance or gave me the shot, I would definitely be here for it. But it wasn't like pushy. Like, it wasn't them actively begging or calling and texting back to back, partly because they never had my number, because they weren't my superior, you know? So it was just like easily avoidable, and they would just leave it at their jokes, and it would just be kind of like, haha, just brush it off. All my time in nightlife has mainly been that. This was the first time in nightlife that working for them, and I'm gonna call the whole promo team, I'm gonna call them suites, because I feel like when it's that time of the month or something, like, you have like your comfort suites, or like hotels. I think there's a hotel called like Comfort Suites or something like that, but just comfort. So with Sweets around Dallas, I kind of heard a little this, a little that. But again, I was so new to Dallas, I wasn't like, who am I talking to? I don't know anybody. So I kind of heard through the grapevines a little something, but not too much. And when I would hear stuff, it would always be people having issues or disliking Gemini, which I will honestly say the bulk of this story is not even me having issues with Gemini. And I'm gonna say effie effie because I'm trying not to cuss so much in this video, but y'all know what I mean when I say effie effie, okay? I feel like honestly, in my experience working for this promo team, working for Sweets, Capper was the most effie effie out of them. And that's not to say they both weren't effie effie, but Capper was the worst, okay? And mind you, with Capper being the worst, it always blew my mind because he has the baddest, y'all. When I tell you, the most beautiful, dark skin, badass face card does not at all decline. Like, gorgeous girlfriend, to the point I always wondered, how did you pull that? How? And then knowing that you have that at the crib at home, why are you trying to F everything that comes across your line of vision that's not her? And then you're out here begging and not getting responded. Like, you're begging. So when I first started off working for them, my whole probably first month with them was super smooth. Like, nothing was weird, you know what I mean? And then I would say probably as soon as I hit that month mark, Capper would call me, right? He would call me and I'm thinking like, I'm answering like, oh, thinking this is about something for work. I'm like thinking it's like, oh, you need to book a table or we're about to have this meeting or whatever. Instead, y'all, he would call me and he'd be like, oh, can I talk to you for a minute? And I'd be looking like, I'd literally be looking at my phone like, about what? He'd be like, well, I just feel like we have this connection. I'm like, we never talk. Connection, y'all. And I know that he was giving the same spiel to any, like, actually no, let me start off by saying, so the first time that he ever like started to kind of like hit on me or beg or anything, before I even get into what the phone calls would consist of, he basically tried to give me the whole, I want to deal with you because you're different, you're older than the other girls, like I can really tell you got a good head on your shoulders, you're mature, I like the way you carry yourself, I really respect you. Trying to gas me, and it's like, I know what you're doing. You're trying to make me feel this sense of like, oh, like I feel so special that this guy that I work for wants me, and I feel special, and like he doesn't want anybody else, like he's saying that he doesn't want anybody else. That's the oldest game or the oldest trick in the book. I was the oldest one out of the whole promo team. I was older than the guys that I was working for, and I was older than all the girls. And I also have the most experience. Do you think that I haven't heard anything like this before? And then especially considering the fact that they knew that I used to dance. So with dancing, you hear it all, y'all. Oh, I just don't like my wife because it's not the same anymore. I would do just a whole bunch of this. They be knowing that if that wife were to leave them, they would slide down the wall and cry and want to off themselves. But that moment they're in there with you, they're going to tell you anything in the hopes that you will eat it up and give them a chance being a dummy.
You're a dummy, bitch.
That's what they be hoping, right? So when he started off like saying stuff like that, I'm just like rolling my eyes at the phone because I'm like, especially when he said the whole, oh, I've never done this with any of the other girls. Like, I've never tried to talk to any of the other girls that have worked for us. You can ask anybody. I'm always the one that like, I'm just cool with all the girls. Like, I'm like their bro. Like, they can call me for anything I would do, but like, it's just something about you. As soon as he said that, literally from day one, as soon as he said that, I was like, that absolutely means you do this with not only multiple girls. You've probably done this with dang near every girl that has come across trying to work for y'all. That was my immediate thought process, is you do this on the regular. This is your thing. And you're literally trying to sit here and act like I'm gonna eat up you saying like, oh, I've never done this before. Please shut up talking to me. So back to what the phone calls will consist of. The phone calls will consist of him calling me. I would think it was for something for work, right? Y'all, we get on the phone. He's like, I know we have this connection. Mind you, like I said before I went on that side tangent, we had not talked. So what are you talking about connection? And he'd be like, I'm attracted to you. I can really tell that you're attracted to me too. And I would be so like, and y'all, I would be on the phone so quiet and I would never say it back. Cause I'm like, there was not, y'all, when I tell you there's not the most tiny, minuscule little drop of DNA in my body that even found this man even slightly attractive, was not my type at all. I like fine shit, okay? And he was not fine shit at all. So he would get on the phone saying that, and it's like, I wouldn't agree. I'd be super quiet when he would say it. I literally wouldn't say anything back after. And I don't like when men do this. I don't like where in the name of coercion, and coercion is very strange, it's very weird, and it's just like, do you not feel weird begging for cooch? Does that not make you feel uncomfortable? Because it makes me uncomfortable. And I don't like the fact that men will purposely ignore your discomfort in order to still justify pursuing the mission. And the mission is their mission alone. It's solely for their benefit. They're ignoring your discomfort so they can be like, well, she didn't say no. She didn't tell me otherwise. And it's like, you saw the signs. I never responded. I never said anything when you said that. The phone would get awkwardly quiet and you would just keep talking. You know you saw the signs. Unfortunately, at the same time, I was so new to Sweet that even though he would, because this is, oh my God, another thing that predators always do, okay? Oh, just, you know, let me know if you don't feel the same way. It won't be weird. You can say that. I don't know you well enough to trust, and my discernment is very good. And something told me, I was just like, in my head, I'm just like, don't go for that. Don't fall for him saying, oh, you can say no and it won't affect your schedule. It won't be weird. Because again, I can tell that you do this, and I can tell that even regardless of what you're saying, there are consequences and effects to girls saying no to what you're doing. Because I can tell how comfortable you are doing it, that this is routine for you. So I'm just taking it all in, and I'm just like, you know, I'm listening. And again, I'm not responding, like I'm not saying like, oh yeah, me too, because that was never gonna come out of my mouth, because absolutely not. And then I was so new to Dallas, and that was my only job. Like, I can't risk you getting in your feelings and then trying to F with my money, because I got bills, okay? And I don't need you in your feelings trying to F with what I got going on. So the other thing that was a huge red flag was it went from, oh, like that, and then he was like, it was like, you're trying to bribe me into wanting to F with you. How did you not see where this is weird? So boom, then one of the things he also said, he was like, I'm not a trick, but I'm the type, oh, hold up. Soon as you say that, I'm telling y'all, if any man says that, I don't care even if they do have the funds, because there are men that have money and they're not generous with their money. They're very stingy, okay? Any man that says, I'm not a trick, that literally means they're not gonna spend anything on you. They're not gonna spend anything on you. That does not mean like, and I feel like a lot of girls out here be hearing, I'm not a trick, and what they hear is, oh, I can turn him into one, or oh, if I just play my cards right, I can get something out of him. No, baby. All you need to hear when a man says that is, I'm not going to spend any money on you. I don't care if he's a multimillionaire. If he says that, he's not spending any money on you, bro. I'm sorry, I accidentally cut this part out, but he would say, I'm not a trick, but I could pay for you to get your nails done, if you need your hair done, because, you know, you're really grown. Like, I could just tell, like, you're on your edge, like, you're really grown. I really respect you, and I just know that I gotta come a little different if I want to F with you. You don't have the money to F with me. I know I got my girl, but I'm just with her because that's who I'm comfortable with. Like, we've been together for a long time, and you know, that's just what I'm used to. But, and then he would go into, and I can't even repeat verbatim what he would be saying, because literally I would be tuning him out. I would be so checked out, and I'd just be waiting on him to finish talking to himself so I could hang up the phone. But he would essentially be complaining about how him and his girl, they're just like, he's not in love anymore, and he doesn't, you know, he doesn't want to be in that relationship anymore. He's just like, that's where he's comfortable, and you know, he just wants us to, as in me and him, to form a thing, and like, we can be friends, but like more than friends, and like, it could really, like, we have this connection and we can hit it off. And he just feels like, ugh. First off, if that girl left you, you would be sliding down the wall trying to play in traffic. Be so for real. I hate when men try to downplay who they're with, And they try to downplay it because there are a lot of, again, you're a dummy bitch.
You're a dummy bitch.
You girls out here that be going for that and y'all feel oh so special, or you feel like you're above the girlfriend or the wife or whatever because some mushmouth man done told you that he don't F with his lady at home. Of course he's gonna tell you that because he's a hornball. And if you were to go for it and y'all somehow magically did end up together, he would be telling the next bitch that he don't fuck with you. So boom, the calls started like that and they continued like that, right? To the point where it got to one day, probably like, I don't even know how many times he had called me on this BS by then. We had to like post with them, and we had like posting times where you had to like make sure the flyer was up by then, right? I could not, y'all. If I would wake up and post that mother effing flyer, boom, I'm getting a text, I'm getting a phone call. I'm like, oh my gosh. The day ain't even started yet. The day is young. Every time, it was like he literally would like realize like, oh, Cherry's awake. I'd be like, oh my, leave me alone. Okay, so boom. So after a while of phone calls going like that, right? Because I had already pulled his card and I knew that he was not a trick, like I said, and I knew he wasn't gonna actually spend money, I was like, I know how I can buy myself some time and kind of lessen these calls and stuff. Because what I'm gonna do is literally, again, it's one of our oldest tricks in the book as women. I know that you don't have the funds to pay for the type of things that I would be asking for. So therefore, I'm gonna ask you for something that I know you don't have the funds to pay for, and I'm gonna use that to buy me time. So every time you call begging to hang out, talking about when you're gonna see me, all this other stuff, like what do you gotta do to see me? All I'm gonna do is literally use that thing and hold it over your head as leverage and just be like, oh, well, you didn't do this for me yet. I asked you for this, you haven't done it yet, so no. And I knew that he wasn't gonna do it. So I knew that I was infinitely buying myself some time. It started off with me asking, I think I had asked him for two things. I was like, I want money towards me getting these semaglutide shots because the baby girl was trying to lose some weight, okay? I was trying to lose it then, I'm still trying to lose it, okay? But now I've been in the gym. But I was like, I want money towards that. And those were like, I think they were like either like 400 or 600. It was I think they were 4 or something. Or what you can do is, I want my lips done again. At the time, y'all, the way I wanted to go to, it was $800. And I just want to preface this by saying, no amount of y'all trying to comment in my comments about what you think I should look like is going to determine what the hell I decide to do with my body and my money. Burn that in your brain before you waste time typing, because honestly, most of the words that y'all be trying to type anyway, when it comes to me and how you think I should look, are blocked. You're gonna get yourself hidden from my channel, you're gonna get yourself blocked. So choose wisely. Anyway, so I told him I wanted one of those two things or both. I already knew somebody else was paying for my lips because that somebody else was the one with money and motion. Anyway, so here goes Capper when I told him that I wanted one of those two things, and he's like, oh yeah, like that's not an issue, I can get that done for you, I can make that happen. And I'm just listening like, you're not gonna, what are you talking about? You're not gonna make this happen. You're no, like, you're not gonna know. Asking you for $50 would be too much for you, and then I'd have to chase you down for it. You're not gonna make this happen. But I knew that that was going to buy me time, and it did. So that covered most of February and March, and honestly a big portion of April as well. I was able to buy myself almost 3 months worth of time. And during that time where I had bought myself all that time, he would still be calling me and stuff, but it was like I was able to just be like, well, no, we're not gonna hang out because you still haven't done what I asked you for. I wasn't trying to hang out regardless. And he would, oh my god, y'all, he would be on the phone like, yeah, well, but it's not about, you know, it's not even about money. Like, I just really want to, like, I want to be able to deal with you, like, even outside of that. Like, just trying to make this imaginary sense of closeness that men who are broke do, or who don't want to spend money. They try to make this imaginary sense of closeness with you in order to justify not having to spend money on you, because you just F with their character so much that it's just not about the bread, because you just F with their character so much. No, I can F with your character, and if I ask you for something, I still need it done. So anyway, all of that would just go in one ear and out the other. But I will say, y'all, oh my gosh, it got to a point where, and actually I want to say, let me actually scratch that. I think I might have asked for the semaglutide. I know that was the first thing I asked for, and that bought me a lot of time. Even though it was only like 4 something, it bought me all that time until April. The lips actually, I think that was something I asked for after April because I needed something else to buy me more time. Because what had happened was, and what I'm about to say, I am willing to throw my own self under the bus. I'm willing to sink the ship with myself on it at this point right now. So what I'm about to say is so cringy, it's so gross, it's so disgusting. But I am sinking, I'm burning the bridge standing in the middle of that bitch, okay? The semi-group tide had brought me until April. And I was able to just, oh, you haven't done this yet, you haven't done this yet, I will do it. Around April, his birthday was coming around and he wanted to go get his teeth done in Miami, and he was getting more and more and more and more baggy and more and more and more and more and more and more pushy, right? And I'm just like, I am running out of like I always gotta lie, don't get me wrong, but I'm running out of stamina with the lies, you know? So his birthday came around and him and Gemini come up with this master plan that because they were already gonna go to Miami for his birthday so he could get his teeth done. And yeah, I don't care, I'm putting the business out there, I don't give a fuck, okay? A lot of these men don't deserve anything. So they came up with this master plan that they were flying out, myself and another girl, to Miami for Capper's birthday. He just was saying it like it was big, like he was really doing his big one, you know? It had gotten to the point where I was just like, he's being so pushy. I am running out of stamina on these lies. I might as well get something out of it if I'm going to suck it up and do this. Y'all, when I tell you that was my whole mentality, and does not make it right, and I was just like, ugh, like I was still just like so, oh gosh, just rolling my eyes, grossed out. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is going to be literally like, ugh. Like I know what this trip is gonna be, you know what I mean? And I was just like, you know what? I hope that with this trip, like with getting to hang out with me and stuff, I was hoping in my head, I said, I feel like because a lot of men, they love the chase, they love the mystery. As soon as they get the mystery and the chase out of their system, they stop. So in my head, I said, I feel like if we just go ahead and hang out, we do this trip or whatever, you can spend some time around me, it'll kill all the mystery. I will no longer be a mystery to you. It will no longer be like this, like, oh my God, I just wonder what she's like outside of work and all this other. It will kill the mystery and you'll leave me alone. And your like attention will be elsewhere. That was my thinking. That is not what happened. After Miami, he just thought that he did his biggest one with that. And I'm just like, first off, when we went to Miami for his birthday or whatever, for him to get his teeth done, all the other stuff, again, it was myself, Capper, Gemini, and another girl. All went to Miami or whatever, and Gemini is paying for everything the whole time. Gemini was always the one paying for everything. You just like to run your mouth, but Gemini, I could never fix my lips to talk ish about Gemini pockets. Because even though, and I'm not saying that, oh, like he wasn't a problem too, because that was definitely, look, that will come up later in the story. But with Gemini, I could understand why the girlies was like, if they gonna do it, okay, because he finna take care of something for real for you. Do I think either one of them is attractive? No. But my taste is not everybody else's taste. Other people feel differently. So it's like at the end of the day, some of the people that chose to do whatever, hey, at least, you know, if you need some shit taken care of, that's big boy shit, okay? Capper, no, you are the sidekick. Because boom, when we came back from Miami, again, like I said, I thought that it would kill the mystery of me. So I'm thinking it'll kill the mystery and he will completely lose interest because it'll kill the mystery. Y'all, Capper got crazy as shit after that for a minute. And I said, oh my Jesus, what did I do? Y'all, when I tell you literally up the sco, like, oh my gosh, it got worse. He was begging even more, calling even more, texting even more. It got to the point we'd be at work and I would literally, it's like, you already shouldn't be at work trying to flirt with me, say this or that, whatever we'll do. I already, as soon as we got back, I went right back to my natural way of being. Like, I'm not entertaining you. Like, I don't be saying anything back. I awkward, walk away, laugh it off. Y'all, he in my ear at work. Oh, I don't know when I'm gonna see you again. Like, what do like? I need to see you again, like out. Oh my, no, 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 no. This is not how this is supposed to go. No, 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 no. It would get to the point we'd be at work. I would literally have to tell him, I'd be like, yo, chill out. Like you literally like, you said you was gonna keep it P. Like you are not keeping it P. Like you are wilding right now. Like come up off me, give me some space, and stop trying to say little stuff at work to the point where like, and then he'll be loud at that. Would be loudly saying stuff and loudly like blatantly flirting with me at work. And there were multiple times I'd be like, chill out. You would be the first one mad if somebody was like, oh, start the gossip, because y'all, they used to, oh god, they used to be so like, oh, people shouldn't know our business, how we do it. And I'm gonna get to that too, because we used to have these little fugazi ass meetings, and the meetings would never be about no work stuff. It'll be about people spreading their business around Dallas. Like what? Anyway, y'all, you know that you'll be the first one mad if it got around that, oh, you know, you took me to Miami or whatever we do. No, and mind y'all, again, all of this, and like I'm saying, like I'm not trying to make myself seem like some ultra victim or anything, but honestly, all of this was just me finally being like, oh my god, like just essentially giving into coercion, because I'm just like, oh my god, like I don't want work to get weird, and it was my only job, and I'm just like, I gotta do what I gotta do, honestly. But y'all know, if y'all been here long enough, I don't like side bitches. I don't. And honestly, I couldn't even be this, because I don't want her. I don't want you. Like what is not, like you're just not understanding that. There's no instance where I want you. But at the same time, I also couldn't say nothing to the GF, because it was like a known thing, like, oh, okay, if that ends up, she ends up finding out, whatever, gets mad or does anything with Woo, they're gonna fire you. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I just took my L. That being said, you're being so thirsty, and if anything were to get back to her, you'll be the first one mad, talking about some, oh, people in Dallas always in our business, and people just be knowing all my now do. Do y'all think y'all hide anything well? Do y'all think y'all be hiding what y'all be doing well at all? Do y'all think it's a secret? It's never a secret. Like why where are we getting that y'all hiding this stuff well, that what y'all be doing, what y'all be on? So boom, after because his birthday was in April, so after Miami, we come back, he's on that or whatever we'll do, and he's getting more and more baggy, he's getting pushy again, begging. So this is where the lips came in. I thought of another thing that was a high price item, or like basically a high ticket item, that I knew that he wasn't gonna, like a high ticket item, high ticket service that I knew he wasn't gonna want to pay for it. He wasn't gonna want to do it. I already had somebody that was gonna do it regardless, but I knew that he wasn't gonna want to do it. It's gonna infinitely buy me time, and it did, because we never hung out outside of work ever again. Thank you. And even though I said it was just to buy me time or whatever, it was still just like another instance had happened, and this instance was the principal. So after we get back from Miami, and I tell him like, oh, like I want the lips done or whatever, it hit this 1 month, I think, or no, yeah, I think he was still doing the most for like 2 months, and then he all of a sudden stopped messing with me. Like he like just cold turkey, he had stopped messing with me. He would still say little stuff here and there, but it was nowhere near as much, right? So then he started doing this thing out of nowhere, where a girl that I was friends with, who I worked with, I'm gonna call her Blue, just because I'm looking at my knife set over here and it's blue. He would start being over, you know, with Blue and stuff, and mind you, me and Blue hung out all the time. So it's like, you know, me and her are friends, and now you keep on, all of a sudden you calling Blue, like you talking about some, oh hey twin, what's up twin? Every time we having like a pre-shift or something, you going over to go, you know, cackle and snicker to Blue about your other, like this new venture I guess you got going on, right? So come to find out, the new venture and why he wasn't so much on my D, right, was because, so there was another girl who worked for one of the venues that we used to work for, right? But her birthday was around this time, right? So her birthday came around, and I guess, like, y'all, my thing is, why would you think, like, me and Blue are friends and we hang out all the time? Why would you think that she's not gonna eventually tell me? And you could tell, like, even when she did tell me, it was like she barely, like, she didn't tell me a lot. because it was very clear that she kind of wanted to like stay out of that. But what she had told me was essentially that the reason that Capper was all giddy, like y'all, he was like a middle schooler who just had their first kiss, all giddy, like, oh yeah, twin, after we get done with this, like I gotta talk, I gotta tell you something, I gotta talk to you, like I would do, like all giddy and stuff, right? And I'm just looking, I'm like, this dude, like, you're weird. So essentially what was going on was he was claiming that, and I don't know if this is true, old girl way out of his fucking league, okay? So do I personally believe this? No. But at the end of the day, sometimes you do gotta get in where you fit in. And if she saw a sucker and she licked it, I'm not upset. You know what I mean? So essentially what he was telling Blue was, oh, I've been talking to so-and-so, the other girl. He like, oh, I've been talking to so-and-so. Or essentially what he said was, oh, you'll never guess who I've been dealing with. You'll never guess who I've been effing with. And he was talking about the girl, right? Again, it wasn't the fact that like I never wanted Capper. This is not something where, oh, I was jealous for this and the third. This is something where I don't like the fact that you feel like you're doing a thing and you feel like you're laughing in my face with my friend at that, and you feel like you're laughing in my face on some like, oh yeah, she don't even know, like I've been effing with so-and-so. And it's just like, I know and I don't care. And I knew something was going on before Blue even told me. I just didn't know with who, but I already knew something was going on because y'all don't hide anything. You're bouncing around here like a little boy. Like, please be so for real. Like, you was so hyped to, and this is how I know you do a whole lot of this. They love to, oh, I keep things so, I keep it chill. Like, you are acting like you never messed with bad bitches before. Like, you can tell you not. Or you can tell every time you do finesse one into dealing with you, because it's not like they're just dealing with you. You are finessing bad into dealing with you. You're backing them into a corner to deal with you. It's the principle. It's like, don't ever think you just laughing in my face type shit. Because first off, I don't want you, but just for you to even think that you are doing a thing by doing that, it's like, I'm irritated off the principle of that. And so the girl's birthday had come around, and it was like in, I don't know, I think like June or July. It was a summertime birthday. I think, if I remember correctly, it was a summertime birthday. So her birthday comes around, right? And this is with him, he been capping about giving me some money. So birthday comes around, we're all like in the office one night, like doing our pre-shift or whatever before the night was about to start. He's in the office, yeah, cause like, oh, I know it's big so-and-so's birthday. I would do, oh my God, and this is what he used to do to me too after we came back from Miami. Everything was, oh yeah, big cherry this, big cherry that. All right, big mama, like, ew. Oh gosh. But anyway, so this night, like I said, like this was after he had finally just cold turkey like kind of come off me. So he in the office, oh, it's big so-and-so's birthday, you know, I had to do it right. And so I guess he had got like a gift, maybe some money. The money literally was like ones from somebody else in the club, from a customer, a client in the club. You're not the nigga with money. But he was in the office, like he's just flexing. He's like talking about some, oh yeah, like I be doing this, like, oh yeah, this really how I'm coming. And then he looks at Blue, he's like, yeah, twin, it's about time. It's about time for another trip, twin. It's about time for another trip, twin. You are so corny. I tell you, I was so pissed off and so irritated. And it was because I knew that like you are capping. You don't be spending no bread. You do not have motion. You do not have money. You do not spend money on bitches. You don't fly bitches out. You talking about, oh, that was your first time flying a girl out when you flew me out. And you so hype over that $200 something round trip, $200 something. And you so hype about that. Niggas is flying bitches first class and it'd be a stack one way. What are you talking about? Oh my gosh. You so hype, like you just spent the most money in the world on somebody ever. Y'all, even when I would mention the money stuff, it would be like, oh, but you know, like, I really did my big one. Like, I flew you out. Did you think that you were just gonna keep using that for what, three months or so afterwards? Like, I wasn't gonna ask you for anything because you flew me out that one time on that cheap ass flight?
Mind y'all, I know the way that I said it here, it seems like it's about, like, it's literally not even about the price of the flight. Like, I'm not one of those girls that's like, oh, I'm not coming unless you fly me first class. I'm not that girl. Babes, I'm happy to be here, okay? I'm happy to be getting a break from whatever city I live in. I'm just happy to be in the sky. It's the fact that you, though, you put me, I don't like Spirit, though. I'm not even joking. So that being said, it wasn't even about the fact that, like, oh, it's a round trip flight for $200. It's not that. I love a deal, bitch. But you are acting like you just went to the moon and literally brought the whole thing back to me in a box, wrapped up in a glittery, like in glitter paper, because you spent $200 on a flight. That is my issue. It's not the cost of the flight, it's the fact that you are acting like you just really did your big one. You did the most because you put me on a literally a cheap ass Spirit flight. And then we get down to Miami and you're not even the one paying for anything down there. Like outside of your teeth, you did not pay for anything else. There was an issue with my flight on the way home. Gemini took care of that, not you. That's who sent me the money for that. Like, please be so for real. Like, I don't like people that just be capping. Like, why are you lying? Oh my gosh. Like, if that $200 was gonna keep me at bay and I wasn't gonna ask you for anything else because, oh my gosh, you spent $200 on me. Boy, fuck you.
Anyway, so her birthday comes around, he's in the office, he's capping, he's talking about some, yeah, Blue, when we going on another trip to fly some bitches out somewhere, I would do. And just hearing him say that and just knowing like how he be coming how he funny and coming when it comes to money, I was so blown and so irritated because there was also an instance before then where, and mind you, again, I wasn't blown because it was the girl's birthday and because like, you know, everybody was showing her love because we all love her. She's cool as fuck. That was never the issue. It was him capping. I was so irritated at everything that was coming out of his mouth. I couldn't even hide it. Everybody else in the room getting ready to take shots and stuff. I'm just like, I got the most stank face on my, like, I got the most stank resting bitch face ever because I just cannot wait for us to get done with that pre-shift so I can leave and get away from him because I'm literally so, like, he's weird. Like, you're weird. There's been another instance, and this was the other thing that's pissing me off too when he's sitting over there capping. There was another instance where I came in one day. This was like weeks before. I can't remember when this was. This was like weeks before. And they went from, we used to just have to wear white shoes to one of our venues to then it was like the shoes need to be white and they need to be Air Force Ones. Okay. And at the time, I wasn't making shit. So I was not about to go spend and get me, you know, $100 pair of shoes for a job that I'm damn near finna quit. No, I'm not getting those. I'm not buying those. And I was hoping that when we had that meeting, because we had a meeting for like everything that we had a meeting, and I was hoping that when they said that at the meeting and then I came to the next shift without forces, I literally prayed on it, y'all. I said, God, if somebody says something and it's a problem and I get sent home because I don't have on forces, then I'm going to take that as my sign that I can quit in the next 2 weeks. I literally said that prayer, right? Instead, what happened was, because I was hoping I was going to get sent home. Instead, what happened was, and clearly God was like, no, girl, you need to thug this out a little more. Because I was like, if I end up staying and I don't get sent home, then I'm going to take that as I need to go ahead and ride this out until I find something else or until I leave Dallas. And what ended up happening was Capper was like, oh, you know, he was like, oh, Cherry, like, where are your forces at this one day or whatever? And I'm like, I got excited. Like, I'm not showing it. Like, I was blown. So, like, I'm irritated. But in my, like, in the back of my head, I'm also excited because I'm like, oh, this is my moment. Like, I'm about to get sent home. So instead, what he said was, you know what? Like, because you could tell I had an attitude when he asked me that. Because I'm looking like, are we making a motherfucking, I'm not getting them shits. I don't care. Fire me. I don't care. So, but what he had said instead was, he was like, you know what? Like, I'll pay for your forces. Like, I would do, like, just go get them. I'll pay for them, right? Y'all, I had to ask him for the money for them forces 3 or 4 times. Had to damn near chase him down for that $100. And then fast forward, now you in front of me capping about, like, you in front of this whole group capping about how you spend money? Bro, I was irritated as fuck. So he's doing all that in the office. We get done with the pre-shift. I leave the pre-shift or whatever. And that whole night, I was just like, I was being so stank and so mean. And it's not like I was ever exceptionally nice to him, but I was always cordial. So it was just like, okay, like, you know. But after that capping in the office, y'all, I was just flat out stank. Like, I was just walking around with the resting bitch face, stank, like real short answers, if I even talked at all. And then mind you, okay, so this is the other thing that he would do. Even when it came to like the semi-glutide shots that I was talking about in the, like more towards the beginning, it's like he would try to offer to get things in parts. And I don't want it in parts. I want it in full. Because why are you trying to break up payments for something that I asked for that's, you know, 400 or 200? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, if you are going to try to get in the game, and the game being a realm, an arena where you're trying to keep up with the mother efforts that be out here paying to play, and you ain't got no pay to play money, you're trying to keep up with them and you're not one of them. Actually, that whole like trying to get something that's gonna come up again too. Oh, okay, so rewind. So after the whole thing happened in the office or whatever, that night, you know, we worked the shift or whatever for the night, and at the end of the night he asked me, because I had said, I don't know if I said it in the beginning, I don't think I said it in the beginning, or maybe I did, I don't know, but y'all, I'm very outspoken, and when I feel this type of way, you're gonna know. So I had said something maybe earlier, and I was like, you're weird as fuck. And he was like, why are you saying that? How am I weird? How am I weird? And I was just like, no, you're weird. I'm just not effing with you. I wasn't effing with you regardless, but I'm especially like, you just added on to irritation that was already there. So I'm just like, you're weird. Like, so he texted me and stuff afterwards or whatever with you, oh, like, how am I weird? Like, what do you mean? And I was just like, it's just like that's just weird. Like, you move strange. You move very peculiar. Like, you're weird. Like, either he called me, or the next time I came into work, he had asked me what I meant by it. I ended up telling him, I was like, you're weird, because how are you in the office throwing money, but you've been capping about giving me money for months now. And mind you, it's not even like it was a lot of money. I just felt like that was weird. And then you flexing, like, what? So boom, probably like, I can't remember how long after, but a couple weeks after that had happened, I had showed up to work one night, and again, I stood on business, y'all. When I tell you I was so stank to him the whole couple weeks, it was me and Blue. We were there early. So because we were there early, sometimes what we would do is, like, after we would set up and stuff, like set up the club, there was another club that was walking distance, like down the, like literally walking distance down the street. And we would go over there, take a round or two of shots before the night would start, right? And so that was what we were doing this night. We had asked our, you know, management, whatever, it was cool, we did that. They were like, yeah, so we went over there, we walked over there. So as we're walking over there, Capper is making sure to like walk closer to me or whatever so he can fucking flirt or whatever. I'm just sitting there like, no, because you not on my good side. So in the midst of us walking over there, and it wasn't a long walk, but in the midst of us walking over there, he's like, you know what, like, let me just show you that I'm not, like, basically, like, I'm not capping or whatever. I already know you're capping, so whether you send it or not now, I already know you're a capping ass nigga. I mean, still send it, but it's not gonna change the way I think of you. But at the same time, it wasn't like I appreciate it to the point where, like, oh, I fuck with you now. I was just like, thank you, universe. Need a little something extra. Wasn't expecting that. Cool. Happy to have it. That doesn't mean like I'm gonna kiss your ass because you gave me $250. Like, please. Oh my god, we would be at work, and it would be times where, okay, so say it was like a bad night at the venue that we worked at, right? He would always say this, and my thing is, and I told him this from jump, and I reminded him when the birthday thing had happened or whatever, well, the girl's birthday. I was like, I do not like people that offer things and volunteer things that they're not gonna do, because I didn't ask you for that. I didn't ask you for that. I'm not gonna beg you for it. I'm not gonna keep reminding you about it. I am annoyed. If I have to say something more than once, I'm already annoyed. Very annoyed. Heavily irritated, okay? I don't like when people say they're gonna do something, they don't do it, and they think that, because baby, I'm not the type that's gonna sit there and not say anything about the fact that you didn't do what you said you was gonna do. So I don't like when people do that, and then they think that I'm just gonna let it slide because they're used to people that are just like, oh, okay, I guess. Nah, bitch, I'm on your ass. I remember exactly what you said you were gonna do. You should never, when it comes to me, do not tell me you're gonna do anything you're not gonna do. So he would always do this thing where when it was so nice, he'd be like, oh, let me know how much you made, and if it wasn't at least, he'd always be like, if it's not at least 500, I'll pay you the difference, I'll cover the rest. Because I guess in his head, after he gave me that 250, he feels like he's a fake trick now. And I'm already knowing you're not a trick. You told me you're not a trick. I already know you're not a trick. And I already know that you're not gonna, these things you're saying you're gonna do, you're not gonna do them. But you're gonna do a whole bunch of this and you're not gonna do that. So I'm not waiting around for you to do these things. Whatever needs to be done is going to get done regardless. It's gonna get done outside of you, with or without you, it's gonna get done. Whenever he would say that, I would just be rolling my eyes again, y'all. Just more mush mouth stuff on the phone just to hear yourself talk. He would always try to make it seem like he was just doing the most for you. Like, I really go to bat for y'all. I really be, you know, standing up for y'all. Dude, you don't stand up first for shit. You're scared of your friend Gemini. You won't even, like, you don't even talk back that nigga. Stand up for us? You're the help. You do not be standing up for us. You're the help. We got more mouth when it come to him than you do. Like, what? Stand up for us. Oh yeah, like I really be out here handling shit. You don't be handling nothing. Gemini calls the shots, and then the people y'all work for call the shots overall. And if they snap their fingers and it's clipped, then it's clipped. So what are you talking about? I hate when people try to make it seem like they're doing more than they're doing. Or try to act, they just try to talk and make it sound good as if you can't visibly see and are visibly participating in what is actually going on. So you doing all this and I'm seeing what actually goes on. I know how things are handled. I know who the real boss is. I know who the boss of the boss is. I know who got the money, who don't got the money, who call the shots, who don't call the shots. I know all this. So why do you keep on trying to trick me into thinking it's anything other than what it is? No, it's not. You might say a little one, two, a little whimper, and as soon as they shut it down, you don't go no harder than that. I just have no sympathy for this man because you're a predator, bro. I have no sympathy for him. Maybe it makes me a psychopath a little bit, but I played my role this entire time and the whole thing was an act. It's like, I don't and I never will F with you because I already decided from jump when you ignored my boundaries by trying to purposely make it seem like I had feelings for you back or F with you back from the jump. Like mentally after that day, once I lose respect for somebody, that does not come back.
Mind you, I don't know where this clip went, but there was another instance that I left out of this as well. So when I was getting ready to move to Houston, right? And I had told him, I was like, I've been losing out on money because y'all have not been putting me on the schedule. When I talked to him about the fact I wasn't getting scheduled, he asked me, how much do you feel like you're losing out on as far as like money-wise because you haven't been working? I said, well, realistically, like 2K plus. It's not like we were making crazy money in a weekend, but you could at least make like maybe 4 or 5 in a weekend. So it's there have been 4 weekends that I didn't work. Granted, I know that Capper is not the person that's gonna give me the 2 bands. Capper ain't got 2 bands to give me. So he's like, well, I'll personally commit myself to giving you 500 you know, out of my own pocket, but you gotta come get it though. And y'all, when I tell you when he said that, I'm just listening. I'm just like, you can keep that little bullshit. That's 500. I'm not coming to get that. There's no instance on this planet where I'm about to go out of my way to have to deal with your ass to collect $500. I'm not doing that. So he would hound me at work. He'd be like, when are you coming to get your money? You still haven't come to get your money yet. And mind you, he said that he was gonna do the 500 over the course of the month of October. Why would I let you break up $500? And then not only that, you're gonna try to break it up, and then I'm gonna have to, like, you're gonna try to do your little 150 or 200 in the beginning, and I would have to chase you down for the rest. And I already don't want to deal with you regardless. So I'm not coming to do that. And not only that, then he also was like, when I had asked him, again in reference to the original video about if I like Dallas, I had asked him if I could be on the schedule because it's my last weekend before I was going to work. He told myself, you know, I know you're about to leave, but I'm really hoping that, you know, we can continue this, like, even when you go to Houston. And I'm just listening like, what are you talking about this? What, there is no this. This has only consisted of you chasing after me the whole entire time I've worked for y'all. It's never been reciprocated. So what are you talking about this? He's like, you know, and when you move in, like, I'm willing to send you some bread, help you get some furniture. Capper, you never ever send no bread. You don't have bread to send. You're not the person that would send no bread for me to get anything as far as appliances, anything for the crib, furniture for the crib. No. You just, y'all, he would just be talking just to talk. Constantly, like, bugging me bad. You still haven't come and got your money yet. When are you coming to get it? I'm never coming to get that.
So this wraps up part 1 of the story. Now we're gonna go into part 2 of surviving Sweet. This part is named the meetings. When it came to working for Sweet, right, they had this obsession, and it was more so, I feel like this part was more so Gemini than, it was Gemini and Capper for sure, but more so Gemini. Y'all, we'd have these meetings and they would call us in on these days off. The meetings were always last minute, and they would be like, oh, if you don't show up to this meeting, then you're not on the schedule for the coming weekend. Okay, you're telling us about the meeting that we're gonna have tonight, and y'all are telling us at 3 p.m. and being like, we need to see all y'all by 6:30. Otherwise, you're fired or you're not on the schedule for this weekend. Are people not supposed to have jobs outside of this? Because we don't make we don't make this will be my only job type of money. So are we not supposed to have jobs outside of this? There's nobody to coordinate these meetings. There's no minutes for the meetings. There's no notes being actually addressed in the meetings, because the meetings would solely be, oh my god, y'all, it would be like 1 or 2 like improvement things for improving Sweet, and then they would always go off on these long tangents about, and we shouldn't hear anything about our names being said around Dallas, and you know, it shouldn't be any of our business getting out or getting back to us, and I just don't understand why people are out. As if people in Dallas don't have minds of their own. They're gonna look, and like, people are gonna look and make up stories in their heads because they're just bored that day. Dallas is small and there's not a lot going on. We can't control that. I'm grown as, okay, and the next bitch is grown as, okay. I cannot control if she wakes up one day and she says, oh, the sky is blue. I think I want to, like, I just think I want to pry around Dallas and see what be going on in Sweet. Or if I can't get no information, I'm just going to guess. I'm going to make up a story and then I'm going to just spread that because I'm bored. Bro, do we not all know that just be weird? That's not far-fetched. Like, people really be doing that. Like, people will create drama just because they're bored. So be so for real. So the meetings would be a whole bunch of them being like, oh, you know, why are we hearing this or why are we hearing that? We have no control over grown people gossiping. Y'all have this inflated sense of self where you think everyone is so enthralled with your life and what you do outside of, like, when we're not at Sweet. Like, that when we're not all here, you think that we're just, I don't know, spreading rumors or whatever, and we're adding to the rumors that we're even conversating about. Y'all is crazy. We literally did not care. We gotta make we gotta plot on so and so. We gotta spread this rumor so nobody F's with them. Nobody F's with you on your own. You did that to yourself. We don't have to spread rumors to do that. Like, that being the main focus of every single meeting would be so annoying. Y'all remember there was this one meeting where they were talking about having to sign NDAs. Baby, I don't even sign NDAs for people I'm supposed to sign NDAs for. What do I look like? We're not even touching $1,000 in a weekend. We're not even touching a band, a stack in a weekend, in a night. And you think that I would sign an NDA for this job? This is play money. Why would I be signing NDA? And then sign an NDA so y'all can keep on being effy on everybody y'all hire? You want me to sign an NDA to hide the fact that you up? No. Like, it gets to a point. It's not our fault that y'all try to F with every single girl that you hire. And it's not our fault that everyone in Dallas can tell, and it's not hard to tell. It's very blatantly obvious. It's not a secret. Y'all don't hide secrets well. Y'all don't even try to hide them. I don't even be knowing their secrets. Be blatant as hell. Very obvious. Painted on the forehead. What are we hiding? But every meeting, oh, you know, if I hear about this one more time. Bro, I remember one time, he told this one girl, Gemini told this one girl, oh, if I hear about you saying anything one more time, which mind you, we was all, y'all, I remember that when that happened, we was like, oh. We had got so quiet because it was a curveball. Because we were just like not expecting it. He's like, if I hear one more thing out of you, I would do, in regard to me, then you're fired. And I would do, like, he started blanking on her, bro. And I'm just like, and I feel like they hire, like, at this point, now that I survived that freaking smeggs quote, okay, I feel like they hire based off of who they think they can try, who might go for it, but also off of their personal type. Like, not the, oh, it's like this is the type of the clientele. As many people be saying it, as well known a fact as it is, and to act like you're mad that people know is just, it is insanity to me. So that really wraps up the meetings, because the meetings were never about anything work related. They were always about people spreading their business and woo-doo. So that wraps up part 2. So now we're gonna go into part 3. Part 3 is called The Favorites.